don't. No, he don't. No, he don't. Because if Jesus loved the children, then why does it say in Joel chapter 4? The one thing he do love doing, though, is selling them for a price. He bought them for a price. And it says here, upon my people, they cast lots. And they gave a boy for a harlot, and a girl they sold for wine. And they drank. Do you know there's no safe place for a child in the world? No safe place. Not a safe place. Nothing. We're supposed to cry out against the abominations in this world. I'm going to give you a little rundown, a little history. So growing up in Mississippi, I grew up around pedophilia my entire life. I had no choice but to participate in it because it was for self-preservation, to keep myself alive. I went through it. No matter where I went, there was no safe place for me to go. But as I got older, I realized that I don't have to be involved in this. I don't have to look the other way no more. I don't have to do this. I can live in my house, and be in peace and not have to have that. So I thought. So I got older, I had children. I moved away. I moved to Alabama. So the town I grew up in, Brookhaven, is child sex all over the place. A girl and a boy. They didn't matter. They didn't care. Front to the beginning, they didn't care what they did. Nobody did anything to help a child. Nobody. Everybody. And it had nothing to do with race. I don't care what race you was. You were not safe. I don't care what the income was. Had nothing to do with living in the projects. It had nothing to do if you had a big house. Had nothing to do if your family was rich or if your family was poor. I don't care if your family was white, if they were black. It didn't matter. Did not matter. It didn't matter. And see, that's when I became the enemy of everybody. Because I kept trying to do something about it. So, I moved to Alabama, Mobile, Alabama. Everybody raping there too. They just doing all types of stuff to children there too. And I would try to talk to people about it and say, hey, this is going on. And then the first thing they would say, well, my dad was like that. The older women that I was with. So I grew up that way. It happened to me, and I don't care because it happened to me when I was growing up. It happened to me. They didn't care. So children are getting molested all around them. They just said they'll get over it one day. That's Mobile. I went to the church, y'all. Children to get molested at the church. So I went to the church, y'all. Went to the priest, went to the pastor, went to the preacher. Hey, this is going on. Come to find out the preacher was doing it too. They was doing it at the church. At the church. And I was very confused because I thought that the church is supposed to be on the side of safety for children. That's what I thought. And y'all always blaming the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church, they always doing this to children. It's all of them. It's all of them. So I moved from Mobile and moved to Baton Rouge. Children are getting sex trafficked all over the place there. And when you try to do something about it, nobody was doing nothing about it. I tried. Y'all, when I lived in Mississippi, I went to the police over and over because they told you if you call the police, they supposed to help you. Because that was the lie that they told us. But when I looked up what being a police officer, they're there for to keep safe the product. And then when the product is the girl and the boy. When the product is the girl and the boy. That's the product. This is how this country became the most powerful, richest place on earth. And everybody knows it. And you can sit there and say, no, it don't. Yes, it does. At the daycare, they're molesting the children. At the school, this is why I took my kids out of daycare and took them out of school. So they could be safe. I didn't want them in school. So why I was trying to homeschool. That's why I was fighting to keep my kids out of school. And people didn't understand why I was doing it, because I knew there was no safe place for a child. My kids would come home and say stuff to me, and then I would try to get stuff done about it. Who's the person attacked? Not the people who was doing that stuff. Not the people that was doing that stuff. To my children. To my children. Do y'all know that the first video I ever did was about this? The first teaching I ever did was about this right here. It was about this. How y'all took our children. It's the first video I ever did. Let's keep going. So in Louisiana, there's sex trafficking children all over the place, molesting them. They don't care. Lock them in basements, doing all kinds of stuff. And then if they'll take the children from the parents and do what? Still sex trafficking. Then I moved to Texas. Same thing. In Texas, I met some people, and they knew that this man was a child molester. They knew it. They knew that he was doing snuff videos with children, people. They knew it. But you know what their excuse was for not turning this man in? Do you know what snuff videos is? You want to know where the missing children at? Go on the dark web. You'll see where those children are. You know what the excuse for them saying that it was it was okay that he was doing all this stuff? His dad was a doctor and he was a good mechanic. Well, I know he does this, but his dad is a doctor and he's a good mechanic. And it has nothing to do with race. White people, Spanish people. I've been around all of them. Same thing. Same thing. And I was very upset because I am trying to not just help other people's children. I'm trying to help mine. children. My son, my oldest son, came to me and said, everywhere you go, everybody's touching babies and hurting babies. And I told him it's not right just because everybody does that. It's not right. This is why I kept telling you there's nothing a child can do. When you're a child, you in order to save yourself, in order to save my life, y'all, I had to just do things and just had to suck it up and deal with it. But once I got away from it, no, I don't want no part of it. I ain't want nothing to do with it. This is why the people around me hate me. Because I call it out. I say something about it. But see, I didn't have a choice. As a child, I had to deal with it. Who else was going to call? Who was going to call the police? My uncle was the police. Who was going to call? The child protective service? My mom's child protective service. Who was going to call? Go to the school and tell? Two of my aunts are the teachers. Who I was going to go over their head to the child protector? My other aunt, she was over my mom. So who I was going to call? Who I was going to call? You call child protector every day, calling my mama. Call the police, they calling my uncle. Who was going to call? Who was, how I was going to keep myself safe? Or my sister safe, or my cousin safe. And they didn't care about a girl, boy, and it's still going on. And you're like, why are you talking about this? Because y'all, Heyah told me to talk about this again. This is the third time. Heyah had me talk about this. In Louisiana, do you know that I went and said, hey, this man and his uncle did this to my daughter. Do you know that they wouldn't even go have her tested? This man and his uncle did something to my daughter. And then I tried to do something about it. I went to the doctor. I went to the police. Nobody did anything. Nobody. At the school. At the daycare, everywhere. Nobody did nothing. This is Texas. Tennessee. I moved to Tennessee. Because, see, I'm running all over the place trying to find a safe place for children. That's why I was running all over the place. Trying to find a safe place for a child to be. Nope. I get there and I had people walking up to me asking me to sell my children to them. And they'll give me a car, they'll give me this, they'll give me that. And then I would try to talk to people about it. People that was supposed to be my friends. I call them fiends. People supposed to be this and that and supposed to be in working for the government. You got your good job. I would try to talk to the people about it. Just get over it, Tess. Let it go. And I got to look at these people. I got to look at these people. And then they sit in church on Sunday clapping their hands. How they saved. But nobody was willing to do anything about this. Nobody ever known. There's not one person Aisha can say she didn't. No, she didn't. She told me to get it over, let it go. My mom, no. Uncle, no. Ex-husband, no. You know what my ex-husband told me? You're going to say all this stuff is wrong. Jesus died for our sins. We can do all this stuff. And so because Jesus died for our sins, we can do it all this stuff and it don't matter. I moved to Colorado. I get here. Same shit. Do you know that they take children to parks here that have sex with grown men here? Stop letting these, I keep telling y'all, stop letting these white folks adopt y'all children. Stop sending out children to these schools. Stop sending out children to these daycares. You are paying the daycare to have your children molested. You're paying the school to have, why you think the children are screaming not want to go to school? What do you think they're doing to those children in those bathrooms? You think they're being nice to those children in those bathrooms? Huh? In Louisiana, when I lived there, one of the teachers went in there and took the paddle and broke it on the child's behind because the child was going to tell little girl. Nobody did nothing about it. Nothing. Y'all know that the where y'all money comes is from this right here. By selling children. Y'all know that the way the money, that's why nobody is doing nothing about nothing. But y'all selling y'all t-shirts, selling your books. And whenever I do this, people turn on me every single time. Every time I do this. Every time. And I expect more people to turn on me. What did my ex-husband say? You know, him and his uncle who hurt my daughter. He sends me a text message through my son, by the way, to let me know that he spends times with my family. He ain't making me feel like jealous. Why would I feel jealous about somebody embracing you that I am trying to make them stop hurting children? Why? Why would I be jealous of that? They embraced you, your family, and then he even was like, your family hates you. Your family hates you. But guess what? I hate them too. I hate the abominations. I hate the child molestation, the child raping, the child, all of this. I hate it. So they hate me, I hate them too. Looking the other way. Looking to the left. What my so-called friend, Aisha, they got so many inbred children in their family. Uncles got children with their own children. Granddaddy got children with their own children. So you can sit and talk about me all you want to. Make fun of me all you want to. I ain't impressed by none of y'all. And I was sitting here, I've been sitting here like, when am I going to see the people teaching laws, statutes, commandments? This is one of it. I'm waiting on it. It still ain't happened. But they can make videos about me. Every time I start saying something against this, they'll break off. Remember the little group I was with in the beginning in the last year in 2025 where we were all doing a little group together? When I made that video, they all turned on me. Started making videos about me. Mr. Real Talk, what's her name? DOZ, GOZ, Gates of Zion. I don't know, they make videos about me. When I started talking about child sex slavery and how it's wrong and how we need to do something about it. See, I'll go to creator and I was like, drop a bomb on this. Drop it, just end it. Start over, even take me out. Just start over in order to keep the children safe. I'd rather the creator just start it over. Just start over with you some new people. Just start over. Because all people care about is their money. Their money. And everybody knows how this country and the whole world makes money. By buying and selling them. By buying and selling them. You can go on any internet site, even on Facebook Marketplace. If they're selling little children clothes, there's not children clothes people, they're selling kids. If you go on WhatsApp, they're doing it. If you go in it, they're doing it. Here, and then I went to, in every place I've ever lived, I went to the church and asked them and talked to them. And I went to the pastors and I went to them. I said, this is what's going on. What happened? They went and reported me as being crazy, as being, what do you call it? Bipolar. What's the other one? Munchausen. Being bipolar, being crazy, being, what's the other? Schizophrenic. That's the one. Schizophrenic. Schizophrenic, y'all. Now it's just, she's just a straight liar. Little girl came to me, 2024, let me know that her granddaddy and her uncle was raping her. And then when she didn't want to do nothing, they would lock her outside all night. So in order for her to come in the house, she had to have sex with them. Little girl, 5 years old. And I went in and reported it. Nothing was done. America has been found guilty, y'all. The biggest test of all, these people coming out with these files saying that they are sex trafficking kids. Nothing. Do you know that the husband that I have now, even though we don't live together, I can't do it. Why? Because he's dealing with so much trauma for being sex trafficked. He was sex trafficked. He was taken out of the home of his parents when they were, because they had him when he was 14. They took him away from him and put him in there, and he was sex trafficked. Who is he gonna call? Who is he gonna call when he would try to do something about it? Guess what they would do? Starve him. The girl that lives across from me, her and her brother was taken and sex trafficked by her granddad. They was taking them to Child Protective Service on purpose and selling them. The boy couldn't handle it anymore. Her brother couldn't handle it and committed suicide. Who are we supposed to go to? Who is supposed to call? You go to the so-called government. You go to the so-called police. You go to the so-called all these. There's no help. There's nowhere. The only thing that I do is I pray every day that the Creator put a palisade around these children, and that everybody who is doing this and have something to do with it, children can't help themselves. The adults supposed to help the children. The adults supposed to do it. I was in a battle against the world and didn't know it. I was in a battle against modern day society and didn't know it. And then you want to send somebody to church and tell them that Jesus loved the little kids. He sold them for a price. And y'all down with that. I went to a church here and I told them, hey, they're doing these things at the park, at the grocery store, up the mountain. They're doing this with these children. Selling these children. They're doing it in Louisiana. They're doing it in Texas. They're doing it in Tennessee. They're doing it in Mississippi. They're doing it in Alabama. What can I do about it? Who can I go to about it? He says, this is just a part of life. People selling children. But the Creator says here, I will gather all the nations and I will take them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat and I will contend with them. I will contend with them there concerning my people and my heritage. Which they scattered among the nations. My land they divided, and upon my people they cast lot, and they gave a boy for a harlot, and a girl they sold for wine, and they drank it. Well, that's all, y'all. Why are you making this video today? Because the wrath is coming. It's going to come. You have anything to do with any of these things. And if I or anybody ever walked up to you and told y'all this is wrong and you didn't do anything about it, you're going down with them. And Jesus can't save you from this. You look the other direction. Jesus cannot save you from the wrath that is coming. Jesus can't save you from this. Behold, the Creator is going to empty the land and lay it waste. The Creator shall turn its face and scatter its inhabitants. And it shall be as with the people, so with the priests. As with the slave, so with the master. As with the maidservant, so with her mistress. As with the buyer, so with the seller. As with the lender, so with the borrower. And as with the creditor, so with the one who owes him. The land shall be emptied, and it shall be pillaged, for the Creator has spoken this thing. The land has mourned, it has withered, and the land has been humbled and withered. And the highest of the people of the land have been humbled. The land has deceived because of its inhabitants. The land has deceived because of its inhabitants. For they transgressed instruction, infracted statutes, and broke everlasting covenant. Therefore, an oath has consumed the land, and the inhabitants thereof were wasted. Therefore, the inhabitants of the land were dried up, and few people remain. Wine mourns, and the vine is humbled. Our joyful hearted sighs, and the joy of the drums has stopped, and the stirring of merrymaker has ceased, and the joy of the harp has stopped. In the song they should not drink wine, strong drink shall become bitter to those who drink it. The wasted city is broken, every house is closed from entering. A cry for wine is in the streets. Y'all still crying for wine, trying to sell them little girls for wine. Our joy is darkened, and the joy of the land is exile. And in the city there remains ruin. Through desolation, the gate is battered. For so shall it be in the midst of the land among the people, like the cutting of the olive tree, like the gleaning of the vintage is over. It's over, people. They shall raise their voice, and we shall sing of the pride of our Creator, and they shall shout for joy more than by the sea. We're going to shout for joy. Why? Because it's over. It'll be over. It'll finally be over. And I'm going to show you some things that they're hiding from y'all. Let me show you some stuff. See, they're hiding this stuff that's going on. They don't want y'all to know that judgment is already happening. They don't want y'all to know this. They don't want you to know this. They don't want y'all to know that judgment is already happening. It says, all these disasters are what? Omens. They're omens. They're omens. Omens. And they're not reporting this stuff. I sit back and watch this stuff and sit back and look at y'all's judgment. Look at the Creator's judgment coming upon y'all. And this is just the beginning. It's just the beginning. It's going to get worse. Why? Because y'all have turned a blind eye. Y'all have turned a blind eye. This ain't getting better. This finna get worse. Y'all asked for it. Y'all deserve it. Everybody that looked the other way to these things and say, get over it. It's no big deal. Children get molested all the time. People hurt babies all the time. It is okay. It is my choice. I have the choice to unalive children when I feel like it. Guess what? And my God, G-O-D, because the Creator is not a G-O-D. My God died for my sins, and I can do whatever I want to do. I can hurt as many kids as I want. I can do it, and there's no big deal. Why are you harping on this? People hurt children every day. That's what my son said to me. They hurt children. They hurt babies all the time. And for a child, to think that it's normal. Y'all finna pay. Everybody finna pay. The whole world. The Creator said, the whole world, I'm coming to all the nations. Not one, all. All people. That's what it said. And you can sit there and keep trying to sell your t-shirts, sell your hats, sell your degrees. Oh, I got a master's, I got a bachelor, I do this, and I have a this shirt, and I got to do this, and I got a store, and I did this, and it don't matter. Because you turn a blind eye to all these things. I admitted when I was a child, I just had to do what I had to do to survive. But once I got away from that, every chance I had to go up against it, I did. And I told whoever I could tell to try to do something about it. 2024, the American government was found guilty by the Creator. You hear that? By the Creator. Y'all think what the Creator did to so-called Egypt? Y'all wait. It's not. It ain't gonna be nothing. And those who are against these things, who spoke against these things, who fought against these things, who cried for the abominations on the earth, you'll be fine. The Creator is gonna make sure, and you're gonna stand there. Remember, when the Creator was putting his foot all up Egypt's ass, Israelites were still there. The house of Jacob was still there. They were still there. We're going to still be here, and we're going to watch it. And we're going to cheer, and we're going to sing, and we're going to give praise. I just read it to you in Isaiah chapter 24. We're going to give praise to the Creator for destroying all the wickedness around us. Y'all, we're not going to have to deal with this much longer. We're not going to have to hear babies cry no more too much longer. We're not going to have to deal with this too much longer. And they're hiding this. They're hiding it. They don't want you to know about cities that are being destroyed. This was just put out on July 11th.
Development and land reclamation. Those lakes once acted as natural cooling systems, helping regulate local temperatures. Today, many have been replaced by concrete, asphalt, and high-rise buildings that trap heat and intensify the urban heat island effect. So whether driven by nature, local environmental degradation, or a combination of both, one thing has become increasingly difficult to ignore. China was no longer facing isolated weather events. It's experiencing multiple extremes at the same time. And then came the wind. And that's where I think this series of video, I could play that. I don't know where did it go. Yeah, this is yeah, hold on. No, this is today. This is actually Zhejiang today, Bavi. Yeah, this is wind. On the evening of July 6, while much of China was still struggling under the record-breaking heat, another rare disaster unfolded in Hubei. Around 8 o'clock that evening, a powerful supercell thunderstorm swept across the region. Oh, this is the flood. Yeah. Let me just play this. And something extraordinary appeared over a lake, a giant water spout. Videos captured a massive column of water stretching from the lake toward the clouds, rolling like a freight train as it sucked water, tree branches, and debris high into the sky. Soon after, an EF3 tornado tore through nearby communities with wind estimated between 130 to 160 miles per hour. The destruction happened in just a matter of minutes. And this is the flood. And the trees were snapped in half. Power lines collapsed. Tens of thousands of households lost electricity. Heavy trucks weighing dozens of tons were pushed across parking lots. Apartment buildings were ripped open as windows, walls, and furniture were torn away by violent winds. And in Ezhou, a husband and a wife and their 9-year-old son were trying to close a window inside their 6th-floor apartment when the entire window frame suddenly gave away, and a powerful wind pulled them, together with furniture from the room, out of the building. All 3 were killed. And there was another incident on the 12th floor. A man was literally sucked out of his apartment while his living room windows exploded inward. And across the region, entire high-rise apartment buildings were left badly scarred. Furniture such as coffee tables, cabinets, TVs have been literally sucked out of open windows as if they had simply vanished into the wind. As the cleanup began, another debate quickly emerged. People were asking themselves the uncomfortable question about China's construction quality. Many asked whether these residential developments had become other examples of the infamous Chinese tofu drag construction, building constructed with poor workmanship and substandard materials. Others blame the government's lack of emergency preparedness. So if you look at the 3 examples I gave you above, whether it's earthquake, tornado, or flooding. No, it was not flooding. It was what was the second? It was flooding. So if you look at all these, there's a natural aspect of the disaster, but there's also a human factor involved, right? It's not. People suspect if it's entirely natural, it could be, a natural disaster exacerbated by human factors. And then came something that you probably already are aware, the flooding. It's not just the wind, but it's the water. So in Guangxi province, some area received more than 24 inches of rain. The rivers quickly overflow, and then came the worst part. Several reservoirs failed. And one after another, flood waters burst through damaged dams and rushed downstream with almost no warning to the local people. And so this is actually a school that has been stranded in water for days, and then they were waiting for rescuers, but there was non-rescue efforts. So the schools get the students organized.
Have you seen the average auto insurance rate in Colorado? It's crazy. I don't know how anyone can afford to live there. Coloradans are paying over $2,300 per year on average for full coverage auto insurance. That's over $190 a month. What blows my mind is drivers in Colorado could be getting full coverage for up to 80% less than they're paying now. And most people have no idea. If you're
this is the snake. Because it happened around 3:00 in the morning, people weren't given the time, and it basically, some people said the entire village was washed away. All you could see were people's heads rising and falling in the water. The official death toll was 39, but 39 death and 9 missing. But many local residents believe the true number is much, much higher. Videos posted by survivors painted a very different picture. And the worst story is that instead of focusing on rescue efforts, the government devoted their attention on censoring the information and preventing the local residents from talking to foreign journalists, because there were pictures of 2 Western journalists being sent on Chinese social media alerting local residents not to talk to them, and information is being strictly censored, and people are not allowed to send any information on the internet or accepting any interviews from the outside. So, but some people describe, but still we're able to get some bits and pieces of information. We just heard someone saying that there was a supermarket in a nearby township where it was crowded. It was in the morning, and people were still shopping, doing grocery shoppings in the early morning. And the flood immediately came, and the entire supermarket was flooded. And no one survived, according to the eyewitness. So one school district became an island overnight. That's not this. That's, where is that? That's this, yeah, this school. That's the next one. Sorry, yeah, this is the school. If you watch carefully, there are students. The school that was in the middle of the water allegedly has had 12,000 students stranded. But anyways, the worst part are that the animals that got swept away. The flood destroyed several commercial snake farms, thousands of snakes, including venomous cobras escaped into floodwaters. Here we go. Yeah, you can see them. And rescue teams and volunteer snake catchers later captured 2,000 to 3,000 snakes. That's what we have learned. Many more simply disappeared into nearby villages. Students, let me just stop this. Students who evacuated from flooded campuses later reported seeing snakes swimming through school buildings. Villagers said snakes were everywhere. They say that snakes were in every home. That's why they're afraid to go back in. At least I heard 3 people reportedly died after being bitten by snakes, and particularly because flood damaged roads have prevented from these patients from reaching a hospital in time. And the flood also carried away more than snakes. Crocodiles also escaped from flooded breeding farms. Thousands of pigs drowned, floating through the flood waters. And also one local zoo, wild animals, including lions, reportedly died after their enclosures were submerged. So for many survivors, waiting for rescue became another ordeal. Local government required all rescue teams to be pre-registered with the authorities first. The only reason that they do that is so that they want to know who actually went into the affected regions and saw the scenes firsthand. The only reason for the government to require pre-registration is to keep track of all the rescuers, to prevent them from leaking any information. And that was the situation. It's dreadful. Now, after the flood waters receded, another danger still remains. You have dead bodies, dead animals, contaminated drinking water, extreme summer heat. Together, they create the conditions for disease outbreaks that often follow catastrophic flooding. So for many people in Guangxi, surviving the flood is only the beginning of a much longer disaster. Now, not every tragedy that struck China this month came from nature. On the 9th, another catastrophe unfolded hundreds of miles away in the coastal city of Jingjiang, Fujian. It's fire. Shortly afternoon time, a fire broke out inside a 5-story shoe factory, and within minutes, the flames raced from first floor all the way to the 5th. The factory was packed with highly flammable materials used in shoemaking. You have glue, foam, rubber, and synthetic fabrics. The building quickly became an inferno, and workers on the lower floors, many of them are trapped. They couldn't escape, and those who could escape, they ran to the rooftop. And unfortunately, they climbed into a small rooftop water tank, hoping it would shield them from the unbearable heat and the thick smoke. Hours later, after firefighters finally gained control of the blaze, rescue crews began recovering bodies from the water tank. So witnesses said 2 workers lowered themselves over the edge of the building, with hanging from the rooftop with their bare hands, but only after several seconds, they lost their grip and fell to the ground. Neither survived. The factory sat in an older neighborhood where narrow streets were clogged with parked vehicles, preventing trucks from reaching the building. Although helicopters were later dispatched, the intense heat made large-scale rooftop rescues nearly impossible. Officially, 28 people lost their lives, but according to an anonymous firefighter who saw the scene firsthand, real casualties are in 3 digits. The victims were mostly young factory workers in the prime of their lives. The tragedy has once again raised painful questions about China's workplace safety, which is terrible, which is non-existent.
So, and this is just one of thousands. One of thousands, people. One of thousands. And it's going to get worse. Floods, 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 floods. Fires, 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 fires. Creator says I have a year and then I got a day. Y'all did this. You made your choice. You're going to have to live with the consequences, the recompense of it. The recompense. Specific literal passages from the Hebrew prophets state that material wealth cannot buy a person's way out of cosmic and divine recompense, alongside with the absolute claim that all gold and silver belongs to the Creator. Zephaniah 1:18. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in that day of the Creator Heyah's wrath. Ezekiel 7:19. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed, and their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Creator Heyah. Haggai 2:8. The silver is mine and the gold is mine, saith the Creator Heyah. Behold, Isaiah 13:17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver. As for gold, they shall not delight in it. They will not relent. Malachi 3:5. I will come near to you for judgment, and I will be a swift witness against the sorcerers, against the adulterers, against the false swearers, against those who oppress the hireling of their wage, the widow and the fatherless. You cannot get out of this. As for the rest of us who have cried out against the abominations on the earth, sit back and mind your business. All praise the Creator Heyah and Heyah alone. Hallelujah.